Hello, how are you? Today I'm talking about feeling overwhelmed. So I'm bringing you a cup of warrior energy about when you feel overwhelmed and you feel like you can't do it. To start my time, I'm giving myself 5 minutes today. Being a business owner, being a warrior boss, even being a worried business owner, you are going to feel overwhelmed. And the reason you're going to feel overwhelmed is because you don't always have the same community around you. You don't have people working daily with you. You don't have people sometimes to bounce ideas off. Everything on the to-do list you have to do. And it can be extremely overwhelming. The feeling of your brain filling up with things that you need to do over and over again can make a massive impact on how you feel about being a business owner. So it might make you feel more worried. You might feel like you can't do it. Like there's tasks that you just cannot get your head round. All of these things add up and they fill your brain and you have that overwhelming feeling of you cannot do it. You have too much on your plate. You feel that you are an imposter. You feel like you're never going to get it done. What's the point? Now, if any of that resonates with you, if any of you relate to those feelings, you are completely normal and you must be running your own business. Though there are lots of times in our lives where we may have a lot on our plates, and especially as we're heading into the summer holidays, just feeling like you can't do it. Now, one of the biggest things one of the most important things I would suggest that you do is to have a cry. Now, I know that crying is linked to pain, and actually feeling overwhelmed is painful. It's a painful feeling. It's a feeling that can take over your whole body. And sometimes we may feel that if we cry, we're not strong enough to run this business. We feel like we are weak or inadequate and we're not able to push forward with what we need to do. And I'm telling you now, that is a load of bullshit, because being aware of your feelings and feeling them and recognising them and not putting them in a box is actually a really warrior and strong thing to do, especially if you are a business owner. I cry I try and cry, so sometimes I can't do it until I'm at a certain level of overwhelm. And sometimes I have to wait. Or maybe sometimes I might listen to a sad song or watch a sad movie to spark it if I can feel it brewing. Do you know that feeling that I'm talking about? That feeling of overwhelm, it starts to brew, but you're not really ready for a cry, but you can feel it. So I'll try and speed that process up a little bit. And a period of overwhelm for me, it goes like this. I start feeling a little bit crabby. I feel like I'm procrastinating. I'm not disciplined with my to-do list. I end up being in a situation where, Claire, you agree? I start procrastinating. I don't do my to-do list. I'm not disciplined. I start dropping things. I start being clumsy. And it's just like this whole cycle, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And that feeling starts building and building and building. And I start thinking, what am I doing? I'm letting people down, and all the doubts get really loud. And I think, oh, hold on a minute. I need to have a cry, don't I? I need to have a cry. I go and have a cry. I sob as much as I can. I have cried like this in front of Jackson. I don't like to do it. But also, I feel like there's my personal opinion of this is that I want Jackson, my son, to actually see sometimes if I'm upset, because, what does it say? Absolutely the same. I'm busy, but it's not productive busy, and I just flop on the sofa. Yeah, you're just not productive when you feel like that, are you? But going back to Jackson, I want him to see me upset and see me cope with it, use strategies to make me feel better again and productive again. Because otherwise, all he sees is me being upset, and he's going to feel upset as he grows up, and he's going to be like, well, this isn't right. I don't see normal people upset. So I have a cry, not always in front of Jackson obviously, but I'll have a big cry. Like I don't look to be upset in front of him or anything like that. I just feel like sometimes it's not a good idea to hide our feelings always from kids. From my kid I don't, because I want him to learn that feelings are normal and we feel feelings. And I have a massive cry, and then afterwards it's like this sense of relief. I just go, whew. It's like Ctrl-Alt-Delete, I'm restarted. Okay, then I do a brain dump, and I've spoken about this before, at least 10 minutes, maximum 3 A4 pages, and just get it all out. Just get everything out that you're thinking. And actually maybe doing that first might spark the cry. Then you can start getting some clarity about what you actually need to do. So don't be afraid to have a big cry. Don't be afraid to let those tears fall. Don't be afraid to call somebody and say, I just really need a cry. Sometimes just being on your own is probably best, but however you like to cry, do it, because this is not a sign of inadequacy. This is not a sign of weakness. This is you recognising that you have feelings to feel, to move on. The feelings aren't supposed to be there for nothing. You're supposed to maybe just have a break and have a cry. And actually in our tears, we hold the hormones that create those feelings of overwhelm. So if you actually cry, those hormones are released and you feel better. That's why you feel so good when you've had a cry. Have the cry, sit down, do the brain dump, get it all out of your head, and then get some clarity about what you want to achieve next. If you watch this later, comment replay and then put a little worrier emoji in the comments if you agree. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.